Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Macrame Black Cat. I'm going to be showing you how I make these cute little mandalas. Here's the materials that you're going to need, and we're going to get right to it. So I have 6 different colors and 9 cords of each color. Mine are cut longer than what I put on the screen, but that's okay. You can do it a little shorter. I always do mine longer. It's just the way it goes. So we're going to take the first color, which I've chosen as the darkest color, and take one string, and we're going to pin it down to the board, and we're going to attach all of the other 8 strings to it. This is going to create the round circle in the middle, but the way I like to do it is to attach all the colors while it's still flat before I make them round. It just makes things quite a bit easier for me. If you look at other mandala tutorials, they probably go ahead and have you do the round right away, and then you attach all your colors. This way I find is a little simpler. So we're doing the, I want to call it the reverse lark knot, I think. Just watch my hands. You put the loop underneath, then fold it in half and bring those 2 cords on top like so, and pull it tight, and there you go. So the mandala will consist of 9, as I call them, petals, and 6 colors on each petal. And you just keep going until you have all 8 attached to your 9th string. Just showing you guys to make sure that they're you know, even at the bottom, that when you go to make the knot they're same length. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to space them out just a little bit, because like I said, I'm going to go ahead and attach all of my colors now, except for the 9th one, because you can't do that until you've closed the circle, but you'll see. And all I'm doing right now is just adding a couple extra pins so it's a little more stable. Alright, so my next color choice down is like this golden sort of color. First one is like a brown, second one is sort of like this golden yellow color. So we're gonna do, I believe it's a vertical, shoot, I can't think of the name, what you call this. If you listen to any of my other videos, you know I'm very bad at remembering what these knots are actually called when I'm doing this. So you just attach each one. You tend to like to do the same color and just go across, and then take the next color and go back. I had a little trouble with the video. It's a little close, but I have this phone and it's a little bit heavier, so my apparatus that I used to hold it was a little bit closer than I would have wanted, but the whole video isn't like that. So I just sped it up a little bit, so hopefully you guys have the idea. We're doing that vertical knot where you attach a color. And you should have 8 by the time you're done with one remaining. Because like I said, you needed 9 of each color. So I'm moving on to the second color now, which is hard to tell, but it's a little bit lighter than the one above it. Because for these mandalas, the effect of it is really in the varying of the colors, like try to do a variegated look, but with, you know, single color strings instead of an actual variegated roll of string. So so I did like a couple golden colors, and then I did like varying tones of like this tannish white color. But there are so many color options. I did one in gray, I did one in blue, green, I did a full-on rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then I did like a black one with a variegated rainbow color. That one was really cool. But the color combinations for making these are truly endless. You can do light at the top, dark at the bottom, vice versa. You can do it any way you really want to. Okay, so we've cut to the screen. I've put all my colors on except one I missed because I had an extra cord and I was like, why? So I had to count them all. So there should be 5 attached to the one cord that you did the reverse knot on. Now you simply push them all together, and you can adjust the length of the cord that you just did all that on, what we're going to tie into the round middle part. Make sure that's equal length. And the reason I'm doing all this, you don't need a hoop, you don't need any other accessory, just macrame cord and pins and your board, or if you use clips, that's fine too. And you just tie a double knot to close the circle, and you can see we have 2 cords there, and we're just gonna attach the last set of cords you have to those 2, which will make our 9th petal. So you've done 8. Now we've closed the circle in the middle, and we're adding all the colors one more time to make a 9th petal. Okay, and that's really all there is to it to get this thing started. So I like to do these voiceovers just to give it something extra, but typically I'm just a visual learner. Like, I can look at videos from all over the world, and I don't have to understand the language. I just watch and do it. So if there's ever a point where you don't understand what I've done, just pause it, rewind it, go back, watch it again. Watch it several times if you have to. Some people like to hear descriptions, but I'm not the greatest at giving them, so you'll have to forgive me. But I do my best to show what I'm doing. Some of the shots you can't really see my hands very well, but how you tie your knot, like I see everybody does it always a little bit differently anyhow. The way you hold your hands when you tie a knot, it's like some people do it in this way that I think is funky, and but it totally makes sense to them, and it's the same for me. You might think my hands look funny doing it a certain way, but it's just the way I do it, and you might do it the same or a different way. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 under there somewhere. 8 and 9. So you have 9, okay? Counting again for you, so make sure you have 9. All right. Now we're gonna take, so you have 2 strings there that you have added these colors onto, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna go from the left side and then the right side. So you take the very top cord and there should be 5 there, and you're gonna knot it onto that brown cord underneath with a double knot, like so. Then you take the one right underneath it. Make sure that you are going in row, in order from the color that you added them, because this creates the effect not only from the front but also from the back. If you go out of order, it might just make the whole thing seem odd. So we're adding all 5 colors from the left side to the left brown cord. All right, and then you're going to do the same thing on the right side, starting from the top. Now, what's going to make a difference in your mandalas versus my mandalas is tension. I'm using not super tight tension. I mean, it's kind of loose, kind of tight, because as you see when you start making it, it's going to seem like they're not going to come together at one point. You're going to look at it and say, how are these supposed to come together? That's the thing with these mandalas, like, they are not all perfectly the same size petals, but it looks like it. It's very close, but it's just because of the way it's done. And I'm using 1mm strings, and so not all 1mm strings are made equally, especially because I source them from very different places. And so sometimes the strings make it like a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller than I intend to. So okay, so now what I've done is I've taken the 2 middle strings, tied them together, and then you're going to go down the row, just tying one color next to the other. Sorry, you can see I just did all 5 colors. I think I'm adding a pin for, oh no, something distracted me. Okay, so then on the right side, the middle top 2 chords now became your working chords, and you just tie the rest of the colors onto that. And once you reach the bottom, you'll have 2 coming out the bottom. And we're just going to do that same thing until all the colors have been knotted into this way. Now I'm adding the pin. You can add pins or take pins however you need to secure it, whatever feels comfortable for you, of course. So, okay, here we go. Still on the yellow, tie those 2 together. And 3 there. And make sure that you are always using the right cords. Like the yellow one was laying over there, and that's the one I needed. And 3 on the left, 3 on the right, 3 more to go. For a total of 9, right? Because the cords that we added our colors onto now becomes a part of the project. Okay, so now we're down to the last 4. And the last 2, and you just tie them together, and now you've made your first petal and what will become a mandala. Now this mandala I'm showing you, it isn't like, you can use it as a patch on a piece of clothing, backpack. I'm going to leave a string hanging off of it so you can hang it on your wall. I have one hanging in my car's rear view mirror. That's kind of cute and fun. You can see it from both the back and the front, depending. Alright, I'm going to show you a second one in case you missed anything in the first one. But hopefully you get the idea. We're taking the top and we're tying it onto that first brown one. Left, left, right, right. Okay, that was the left. Now I do the same thing again, starting from the top and going down in a row in order from whichever way you put your strings. So because I'm using 1mm strings, I found that there has to be 9 petals in order for it to work. If you try to do 8, there's no way you'll be able to close them together. If you do, I did do one with 10, and that one worked out, but it's bigger than this. So if you want it to be roughly the same size and you are working with 1mm flat wax cords, it's gonna roughly turn out to be the same as mine. But you can do bigger. I haven't tried to do a smaller one where I use less than 9 petals. I just keep doing this one because they're pretty small on their own when you're just doing this. But yeah, like I've seen people do earrings, so maybe they use like 4 petals. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna check into that. But I haven't seen any tutorials for that, so I've never done it. And I think that what I have seen is them doing it on or inside of a hoop or something along those lines. With hoops you can do it, or with little metal rings in the middle instead of just using the macrame cord for the circle in the middle. If you use like a metal hoop in the middle, you would have to play around to see how many you need for it to come together. I haven't tried it that way, so this is just doing it with just string and nothing else. So okay, so like we did in the first one, you're just doing this. I don't know if it has a name. This type of like pattern. You're just taking each cord from the middle, tying them together, and then tying the left side down the row, and then tying the right side down the row, until you get to the very end where you have no more cords left. I guess you can call them overhang knots. Sorry, that was my cat. Last two, and now you have two petals. For the first section of petals you're going to go all the way around, and you're going to do the same thing for all 9, and this is what it's going to look like when you've reached that point. Okay, now we're going to start the second round of petals where it all connects together. So, okay. I'm just gonna pin it down to my board. I use like this thick styrofoam that I got from the back of an old chair, and I put a pillowcase over it, and then I use cardboard inserts, like I do like 2 or 3 layers of cardboard depending on whatever cardboard I have on hand, to make my macrame boards. I bought one of those macrame cork boards, and I have to say I just don't really like it that much. It's a little too flimsy. I think I must have got a cheap one because it like started falling apart right away, like pieces of it. Anyways, the kit came with a bunch of nifty new pins, which I did need, so it wasn't a total waste. Alright, so now we're gonna we have the brown cords at the top, and we're gonna pretty much do the same thing that we did for the petals. You're gonna tie the top 2 together, and you're gonna go down the row 1 cord at a time until you get to the last one from the left and then from the right. I do it from left to right. You can do it from right to left. That is really of no consequence. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing how you did the first petal. You're doing the second petal, but it is gonna just be wider because well, I don't know how to say it. Just, you know, the space you need to fill is bigger. So that was 1 row. Now you take that brown cord and you do the second side, which would be 1 from one petal and 1 side from the other petal. So we're connecting 2 petals together. The brown cord that we originally very first started with kind of is like what you start and end with. I was just tying that to make it a little tighter. Okay. And like I said, you're gonna keep doing the same thing. Oh, I had to pause and I fanned out a little bit on my camera. So you take the middle two, again, tie them together, and you keep doing the same thing. Go down one side using those same two strings all the way till you get to the end. And so you have knotted all of the colors together in another petal, just like you did in the first. And it makes, a similar looking variegated looking leaf with your, well, for me, my golden colors at the top and my whitish beige looking colors at the bottom. They might look the same on this video, but they're slightly different. And then the brown one will be kind of the point when we go to tie the final outer thing to make it sort of like the flower, to give it the flower looking shape, which is the last step that we do before cutting and burning. It will be the brown that will create the points at the ends, the star flower, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's one done, and I'm just gonna keep showing how, I did it. You can follow along. It's a little bit sped up here. I think it might speed up even a little faster in a little bit, until I get all of the 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's my camera fell a little bit. Hang on, I'll go back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 petals again. And we just keep doing the same thing. Start in the middle, go down one side, then go down the other side. So I'll let you just watch this, and I'll come back when we're ready for the next step. Okay, I just wanted to say something here at this part. When you come to where you're at your last few petals in this second row here to bring it all together, you may need to stretch it a little bit because it's looking like this. There's no way that these are all gonna fit together, right? This can't possibly, but it does. But you may want to just stretch it out a little bit, and like I've done, like I have, let's see, I'm on the 8th petal and I have the 9th petal completely free there, and I have to attach it on both sides. And right now it looks like it's not gonna work out. You're gonna have one that's way too big or whatever. It may be a little bit wider, but it is gonna work out. It's gonna be all right. So just, yeah, kind of, this is what I like about these strings. You can manipulate them to a certain extent. So just don't freak out if you're thinking to yourself, how are these going to come together? It doesn't look like they'll possibly stretch far enough, but it will. And then the trick that I have to making sure that it doesn't curl, I'm going to show you after I've completed this. It's something I've figured out a little while ago. It's nothing special or anything. It's just like a way so that it keeps it from curling when you're just doing a simple mandala like this, when you don't have plans to do anything else with it. The way I learned how to make a mandala in the first place was, it was like this bag. It was this round bag, and you had to make two sides the same. And okay, so now here's what I'm talking about. You've gotten all of the sides together. And if you can see, some look a little more closer. A couple of them are a little farther apart, but it's okay. Like, it's gonna still work out, trust me. With this simple trick that I have, get to the point where I show you. I don't know why I'm showing you messing with my strings. Part of my thing I do is I just like to stroke my strings a lot. It comforts me. It's like a meditation almost. I sit there and stroke my strings and think, what's my next move? Especially in design phase. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take our top 2 brown cords and we're gonna tie them together with a double knot. Now, all we're doing here is creating an outer, like, lining, I guess, if you will. Okay, so take the first yellow string, tie it 1, 2, then go do a reverse knot, just 1, and then back the other way for 4. So that very first string, instead of just a typical 2 knots, we have 4. And this is how everything is going to fit together nice and tight and secure, and you're going to have that nice looking lining without any curling or waving or anything weird. This is going to prevent all of that from happening. And where some of the petals seem wider and where some of the petals seem a little more close together, this is going to make it all look uniform. So we're just going to go around and we're just going to keep doing that for all 9 sides, all 9 petals, which is 18 sides. So I did a 1, 2, then I'm going to go and do 1 knot the reverse way, bring it back so it's facing out again, and continue down the line. And everything else is normal. Okay, so yeah, I got distracted and I had to redo this part, so I kind of lost my train of thought. So, right, so doing this method where you take the first string and you make 4 knots instead of just 2 makes it so that well, I find that it makes it stop the curling process that some people have told me that they had issues with these mandalas, and I have too. The very first time I tried to do a micro macrame mandala, it wound up curling up, and I was like, what in the world? And I wound up just creating a bag out of it, because I was like, I just kept going with the curve, and I made that orange and red and black bag. I've since sold it, luckily, but anyways, I did figure out that if you do it this way, if you're just wanting to make a little decorative item like this is, you can just hang it on your wall, or like I said, on your mirror in your car or wherever. Making this 1, 2, 3, and then 4th knot at the very front gives you a nice clean line, makes everything smooth, and makes it flat, most importantly. So it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's just a little thing I figured out, and kind of one of the reasons I wanted to make this tutorial was to show a lot of you guys that it's, you know, simple little tricks that you figure out along the way when you're doing macrame. Micro macrame, I tried to just combine those 2 words, can just be the difference between making something like annoying and saying, hey, this works out. So the only thing I don't know is how it works for other types of cords. So I only really use flat waxed 1mm cord. Sometimes I get like an 8mm, a 0.08mm cord. Like if I go to a local store here and pick up some rolls, they seem a little bit smaller. So sometimes it could be 0.8, but most of the time they're 1. But even still, like I was saying before, like they're all not created the same. If you're buying different brands from different places, they're all just slightly different, you know, it's just a manufacturing thing. So you're gonna have to kind of adjust for that. And that's what I did here with all of these mandalas that I've made, is I figured out a neat little trick to make it all the same. Sorry if I'm rambling or boring you, but yeah, so with like Linhista, I don't know if this trick will work for you guys or not. I would recommend trying it. I don't know like what size you are working with. If you're working with smaller than 1mm, and I think a lot of you do, you're gonna need more petals. Like instead of 9, you might need like 11. But I found I did do one with 10, which was interesting that it worked out. But typically I found that you need an odd number to make these mandalas. I do want to try to make like a smaller one, but I guess just not wanting to. The day I started making these, I'm just gonna make a bunch of these. And then I decided after I posted it that some people were asking for a tutorial or a pattern, and I went looking on YouTube, and I could only find one that was made with satin cord, and that's bigger. And although it was 1mm cord, it still makes it bigger. And I don't think she had to use as many petals because it's satin, not flat waxed. Okay, so I'm getting close to the end of finishing this whole thing. Once I have all the sides complete, I'm gonna make like one string for hanging. I'm gonna just pick a point, it doesn't even matter which point, and use those strings to make it so that I can hang it off of something. Or if you don't want to do that, like I was gonna use one for like a patch on a bag, and I was gonna sew it on, but I decided that it wasn't right for that particular bag that I had made. So I took it off and then just attached some strings to make it hanging. But so yeah, you can use them for patches on hats, on beanies, ball caps. You can use it for patches on your jeans. You can use it for a number of different things, really, and it's kind of cool. They're fun, and like I said, like the color variations are like endless. The possibilities are really endless. You can do rainbow ones, which I like to do a lot. You can do, I don't know, any colors you got. The one I did that's all rainbow, the reason why it's a little bit bigger is because I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 instead of 6. So when you add another color, which you can do 8, 9, it doesn't matter. It just makes the whole thing bigger. Like you're gonna get more, it's gonna get bigger in volume. So I've finished now. All of the things are attached, everything is together, and it looks pretty, you know, uniform. Like you might have one of the things that's a little wobbly looking, but honestly, like I can't figure out how to fix that. This is what the back looks like. The back has this really cool effect as well. So now I'm gonna just make like a little diamond thingy so that when it hangs on a wall, you just like know, I don't know. I just like to, it's just something I like to do. You don't have to do this. You can simply tie a knot. And call it a day. I just do this, I don't know, just one more little element I like to add. Like that. And then I'm gonna tie a knot however long you think you need it, or however much string you have left. You can tie it short, you can tie it long, depends on what your use is for. I like to tie it a little long in case, you know, someone wants to put it around their car mirror. And you know, you can always shorten it up if you decide you want it for a specific thing, or you can not have it at all if you're going to use it for a patch. No. Okay, and then that's it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start cutting everything off and singeing the edges with my lighter. I'm just finding my scissors, sorry. I always try to cut close so that I don't have very many lighter burns. I know some of you guys have those nifty little zapper thingies. I can't seem to find one here, and if I like import one, I have to pay too much tax. So I've been doing it with the lighter for like 10 years now. It's fine. That's another reason why I think I always start with the dark color at the top, so that the point is the dark color. So when I do singe it, also you can't really tell. But I always try to be very careful with my lighter because it does darken, you know, the quartz just a little bit. You guys probably already know that. cut, cut, cut. We're just cutting. You may need to tighten like I just did there once in a while. And we're almost done. And those are all my leftover pieces. I don't know if I have enough to try to make some rings out of it. Hopefully I do, but I'm not really sure. I think I measured mine at 85 centimeters, and as you can tell, I did have quite a bit left over. So 75 centimeters, if you're using the same materials I did, probably should be enough. I'm just the person that always cuts projects way too long. Even when I'm following somebody else's tutorial, I always cut it longer than they say, because I always wind up coming up short when I follow a tutorial. Well, I used to. I guess I really don't anymore. And you just go around and just singe all your edges. And when you do it very carefully, you don't really get burn marks. And then I forgot to tie a knot at the top right there, so I'm just going to do that real quick. Okay, and we're getting very close to the end, so that's it. I'm going to show you some of the other mandalas that I've been making. It's the back once again, just to round out this video, and I hope that you were able to see everything that I did. I hope that you can figure out how to make one, because it's kind of fun to make them. Here's this gray one I did. That's done differently than the rest of it. I'm going to make a video showing how I did that flower looking one. Green, blue is so pretty. The rainbow one I was talking about. It has 9 leaves, but I used 7 strings instead of just 6, so it makes it look a little bit bigger. And the black one, this one has 10, and you can tell it's a lot bigger than the rest of them. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Another one soon.